Do you want to sleep? Then listen to me. Turn off the lights, close the windows, now close them and listen to you. Finally, I will make a request to you. Put down your phone and listen to my voice. Listen clearly. I will now tell you a story that will make you sleepy. Close your eyes and listen carefully to my words.
For centuries, historians whispered about a strange scar in the timeline, a gap between 614 AD and 911 AD, where almost nothing seemed to add up. Documents contradicted each other. Kings appeared out of nowhere and vanished the same year. Monasteries recorded eclipses that never happened. People lived, died, and built empires on dates that shouldn't exist. Most dismissed it as sloppy medieval record-keeping, but a few scholars believed something far darker. They called it the phantom time hypothesis, the idea that almost 300 years of history were forged, inserted, and rewritten to hide a catastrophic event humanity was never supposed to remember. But the truth was worse, much worse. The night the sky went silent. In the year 670, villagers across Europe witnessed a phenomenon they never forgot. The stars disappeared. Not dimmed, not clouded, vanished. The moon rose black. The constellations went dark. Birds refused to sing. Every fire felt colder, as if the world had slipped into a void. In panic, scribes wrote frantic reports, but within a generation, those manuscripts were gone, burned, corrected, erased. All except one. A monk named Brother Edric, hiding in a collapsing monastery in Northumbria, wrote a single line: "The sky died tonight. The angels have turned their backs. We are forsaken." This was the last surviving eyewitness record, and even that was later scratched out with a knife. But why? The Forbidden War. Deep under Aachen, in the ruins beneath the Imperial Chapel, archaeologists recently found something impossible: a sealed vault containing weapons that should not exist in the 7th century. Not swords, not axes. Glass cylinders filled with what looked like burnt stars, still warm to the touch. Someone had fought a war against something not human. The Dark Ages were not dark because Europeans were ignorant. They were dark because someone turned off the lights. Literally. Something came from the sky. Something we were never meant to record. Something that changed the trajectory of civilization so violently that rulers across Europe agreed on one thing: erase everything. Rewrite the calendar, hide the truth. And for 1,200 years, they succeeded. The emperor who lied to the world. The man who rewrote time. When the sky went dark and the unknown war scorched half of Europe, every king and chieftain was terrified, but only one man saw an opportunity, a man who would reshape the entire timeline, a man whose legacy still rules our calendar today. His name was Otto the Architect, though history knows him by another, Holy Roman Emperor Otto III. But that name, that title, that century should never have existed. The Emperor of the Empty Years. In 996 AD, Otto was crowned as the most powerful ruler in Europe. Yet when his advisors compiled historical records, they discovered a nightmare. Nearly 3 centuries were missing. Decades with no kings, battles no one remembered, inventors who never lived, events that could not have happened. And beneath the confusion, one horrifying pattern: every lost year connected to the era of the starless night. The scribes warned Otto that the truth would destabilize the empire. People would panic. The church would collapse. the stories of saints, miracles, and holy chronology depended on those vanished centuries. So Otto made a choice. He erased the truth and replaced it with a lie so vast it became reality. The forgery of the millennium. Otto summoned two of the most dangerous minds of his age. Gerbert of Aurillac, a mathematician rumored to use forbidden Arab star charts, and Pope Sylvester II, a man whispered to have made a pact with a shadow angel. Together, they drafted the greatest historical fraud in human history. They invented Charlemagne's empire. They manufactured kings and bloodlines. They reassigned battles to fake dates, pushing real events further into the past. They added 297 years to the calendar, placing the world in the year 1000 AD, even though the true date was closer to 703. Why 1000? Because Otto wanted to rule during the prophesied millennium, an age of divine destiny. He wanted to be seen as God's chosen emperor, a messiah of a new era. And because he needed to hide something else, the invasion that turned the sky black, the enemy humanity barely survived. Candles in the dark. He sealed every surviving record of the starless night. He executed monks who had witnessed it. He burned libraries that mentioned celestial anomalies. He destroyed entire monasteries if their chronicles conflicted with his rewritten timeline. But one thing he could not destroy: the scars left on the world itself. Strange craters in Bavaria, blackened stone domes under Aachen, glassified fields in northern Italy, as if hit by weapons hotter than fire. Otto feared people would start asking questions, so he commanded, "Let all the world believe these centuries existed. Let no tongue speak of the night the heavens died." And for 1,000 years, we believed him.
The creatures that fell from the black sky. The night humanity learned it wasn't alone. When the sky went dark in the late 7th century, people thought it was the wrath of God. But it wasn't divine, and it wasn't natural. It was arrival. A silent, geometric shape, blacker than the sky itself, drifted over the North Sea. Villagers later described it only as the absence of stars in the shape of a ship. There was no sound, no wind, just a single pulse of cold light that made every animal collapse in terror. From its underside, something fell. Not meteors, not fire. Creatures. Things that looked like they were made of obsidian and bone. Their bodies cracked open like shells as they hit the earth, spilling out beings that did not walk so much as bend the air around them. The monks recorded them using one word, the only word they had: Umbre, the Shadowborn. The first contact. The Umbre had no eyes, but they saw everything. They had no mouths, but they screamed without sound. Where they stepped, plants turned brittle and white, as if drained of life. The first attack was in Lindisfarne, a peaceful monastery. All 59 monks vanished in a single night, nothing left but spiraled ash patterns on the stone floor, like the monks had been burned from the inside. 2 survivors hid under a collapsed beam and later wrote, "They moved through walls. They drank our shadows. This was the detail Otto feared most. The Umbrae fed on darkness and created it. They didn't invade Earth, they infected it. The war no one was allowed to remember. Over the next 4 years, villages vanished. Forests died in strange circular patches. People found entire herds of animals turned into ash sculptures, frozen mid-movement. A coalition formed. Saxons, Franks, Bulgars, even nomadic tribes from the east. Humanity had never been united before. It has never been that united since. They called themselves the Vigil of Dawn. Their weapons were crude, iron, fire, and prayers, but they had something the Umbrae didn't. They understood the sun. The creatures couldn't withstand direct sunlight. Their bodies became unstable, flickering like smoke before dissolving into black dust. So the Vigil fought only at dawn. Humans pushed them back, not by strength, but by enduring the night until the sun returned. It wasn't victory. It was survival. But the Umbrae left something behind. Even after their vessels retreated back into the starless void they came from, something remained. Cavities in the earth that hummed at night. Pools of liquid shadow sealed under stone circles. And most disturbing of all, children born with eyes that reflected the night sky. These children were hidden, feared, or taken by secret orders, because the Umbrae had not come to conquer, they had come to seed. The war ended, but the threat did not. And this is why Otto erased the records. The Umbrae were not destroyed, only delayed. And according to forbidden prophecies found in Edric's last journal, they will return when the sky goes dark a second time.
The secret order that guarded the lost century, the brotherhood that swore to remember what the world forgot. When Otto III erased nearly 3 centuries of human history, he thought the secret would die with the monks and scholars whose records he destroyed. But he was wrong, because some refused to forget. Beneath collapsing monasteries, inside crypts sealed with iron crosses, and hidden deep in sun-scorched desert libraries, a handful of surviving monks created a silent alliance. They called themselves the Ordo Luminis, the Order of the Light, guardians of the truth, witnesses of the darkness, sworn enemies of the Umbrae. They did not fight with swords. They fought with memory, the one weapon they believed could save humanity the next time the sky went dark. Their first act was saving the Forbidden Chronicles. The Order collected every surviving scrap of evidence from the starless night. Brother Adric's scorched manuscript, Celtic runestones showing black suns, fragments of Bulgarian battle chants describing sky serpents made of shadow, a Saxon shield carved with a creature that had no head, only wings. But the holiest artifact was carved from polished obsidian, the Black Codex, a record written by someone who wasn't human. It was found in a crater in Italy. Its symbols pulsed faintly at night. No one could translate it fully, but one passage was clear.
We leave, but our seed stays. The second eclipse will complete the harvest. This was the prophecy Otto feared most. This was why the Order went into hiding. Their second act was protecting the tainted. The children born after the Umbrae invasion, the ones with star-reflecting eyes, were called the Shadow-Touched. Most people feared them. Some saw them as cursed. A few wanted them killed. But the Order believed these children were not monsters. They were warnings. The Umbrae had changed something in humanity's blood, a dormant imprint, a connection to the darkness that would return in another age. So the Order found these children, hid them, and taught them a single truth. If the sky dies again, you will be the first to hear it. Their third act was preparing for the return. The Ordo Luminous scattered across continents, forming cells, firekeepers in the Balkans who kept eternal lanterns burning to repel shadow-born remnants, star readers in Persia studying celestial irregularities, the White Graves, a group in Scandinavia who built stone circles over buried Umbrae shells, the Dawnrights in Jerusalem, creators of coded maps predicting the next sky-darkening event. They met once every 29.5 years, the lunar cycle of the Shadowborn, in an underground hall beneath a ruined abbey in France. Every meeting ended with the same ritual phrase: "History can lie, the sky cannot." But secrecy has a price. One faction of the Order broke away in the 10th century. They believed the Umbrae were not enemies, but gods. They called themselves the Black Dawn Circle. They wanted the return of the starless night, believing the Umbrae would reward those who helped prepare their harvest. They infiltrated courts, cathedrals, and even Otto's own council. Some say Otto's decision to erase history was influenced by these traitors. And according to the Order's hidden archives, the Black Dawn Circle still exists today, waiting, watching, working, preparing for the second eclipse. And now only one thing remains unknown. When will the sky go dark?
The prophecy of the second eclipse. When night returns without stars, humanity will face its oldest enemy. Hidden beneath the ruins of St. Mare Abbey, inside a chamber sealed by iron and ash, the Ordo Luminous kept their most dangerous text, the prophecy of the second eclipse, a manuscript written jointly by 3 sources: Brother Adric, last survivor of the first Umbrae descent, a shadow-touched child who could hear whispers in the dark, and the Black Codex, the alien relic found in the Italian crater. The prophecy wasn't a single paragraph. It was a sequence, a countdown. 8th moon, 1. The moon will bleed silver. The first sign is subtle, almost beautiful. A lunar glow too bright, reflections appearing where they shouldn't, shadows stretching in the wrong direction. The star readers wrote, "When the moon shines like a mirror, the sky prepares to close." This is the herald, a cosmic warning. Half moon, 2. The glass fields will awaken. During the First Umbrae War, entire landscapes of sand were melted into black glass from the creature's energy. These relic fields, found in northern Italy, the Balkans, southern England, and the mysterious Osplot stones of Norway, were always cold, always silent. But the prophecy says, when the fields hum like wasps, the sleepers below begin to stir. The Order believed the Umbrae left eggs, crystalline pods buried deep beneath the melted glass, dormant, waiting. Gibbous moon. 3. The children of the shadow will dream in unison. The shadow-touched, those born with reflective eyes after the first invasion, have a strange bond. They dream in patterns. Normal dreams, random, fractured, fleeting. But when the Umbre signal returns, the prophecy says their dreams will align into one vision, a sky without stars, a sun eaten by night, and a voice saying, "We have come again." Across generations, the Order kept secret watch lists of families with shadow-touched descendants, preparing for the day all of them dreamed the same nightmare. This sign has not yet occurred, or, if it has, the Order has not revealed it. Full moon. 4. The second eclipse, the final sign. The prophecy describes the eclipse not as an astronomical event, but as a weapon, a deliberate covering, a closing. The sun will dim, the stars will flee, the air will tremble like water, and the sky will become a gate. Not a gate opening downward, but upward, pulling things out. The Umbre will not fall from the sky this time. They will rise through it. The Black Codex translation gives the clearest warning. The first harvest failed. The second begins when light is swallowed. This is the reason the Order existed. This is why the Black Dawn Circle waits. This is why Otto rewrote history. Because the second eclipse would not just be another invasion, it would be completion. The return of an unfinished plan that began nearly 1,300 years ago. But there is one more line. A line the Order kept hidden even from its own members. A final verse revealed only in the sealed last page of the prophecy. The children of dawn will awaken with the eclipse. From human blood and shadowed seed, the light-bearer will rise, not to stop the Umbre, but to choose who the world belongs to. It implies there will be someone, part human, part shadow-touched, part something else, whose decision will decide the fate of the world. A single figure, a descendant of the first encounter. Their allegiance is unknown. Their awakening is inevitable. Their choice will shape the final night.
The return of the Black Dawn Circle. Those who worship the darkness never truly die. They wait. For centuries, the Ordo Luminis believed they had destroyed every remnant of the Black Dawn Circle, the faction that betrayed humanity during the first Umbre invasion. But evil doesn't vanish, it hibernates. The Circle never wanted to defeat the Umbre. They wanted to serve them, to stand beside the shadow when the second eclipse arrived. And quietly, patiently, they rebuilt themselves. Circle's survival. After Otto III's purge, the Black Dawn moved underground, literally. They carved halls beneath ruined abbeys. They hid in the cellars of churches they once helped build. They disguised their symbols as decorative stone knots and window engravings. But one location became their center: the Basilica of the Hollow Sun. A cathedral in the Alps built directly over a melted glass crater from the first invasion. The Order believed the crater was sealed. They were wrong. The Black Dawn excavated deep into the glass, finding fragments of Umbre shells still humming with life after 13 centuries. They began experimenting. They began calling.
return begins with a death. It started innocently. A professor in Prague died suddenly, a scholar researching distorted medieval calendars. Days later, his house burned. Every book inside turned to white ash. But his neighbor reported seeing cloaked figures carrying something out of the flames. A sealed black scroll, a silver amulet shaped like a hollow sun, and a child with reflective eyes. The professor had been one of the last keepers of the Ordo Luminis. The circle had found him, and they were collecting the shadow touched. Circle's new plan. During the first invasion, the Umbrae needed darkness to move. They needed night. But in modern times, humanity controls light. Cities glow through the night. Satellites illuminate the globe. Even the moon is mapped and measured. So the circle asked a dangerous question. What if humans turned off the sky for them? Across the world, the circle infiltrated key positions, astronomical observatories, energy grids, space agencies, underground arcane study groups, private biotech labs. Their goal wasn't war. Their goal was timing. They needed the world dark enough for the Umbrae to return. They needed the second eclipse, but on their terms. Ritual of the Black Meridian. For 900 years, the Circle tried to translate the Black Codex. They couldn't decipher most of it until they realized the truth. The Codex wasn't just a book, it was a device. When exposed to lunar light during a specific alignment, the Black Meridian, the symbols rearranged themselves. A map appeared, a frequency, a signal. The Circle believed this was the Umbrae's call-home beacon, so they prepared a ritual to activate it. On the night of the Black Meridian, in the Basilica of the Hollow Sun, they gathered. 28 acolytes dressed in eclipse black robes, 3 shadow-touched children, and the fractured Umbrae shell, still pulsing like a sleeping heart. They raised the Black Codex toward the sky and chanted the ancient verse, Ignis tenebres reduent, aperi porta caelis. From the fire of darkness return, open the gate to the sky. The glass crater beneath them began to glow. The air turned cold. The moon flickered. And in that moment, all around the world, every shadow-touched child woke up screaming the same words. They hear us. The Circle has returned, and they have called something back. But the Ordo Luminis has not been idle. They've seen the signs, they know the prophecy, and now both factions race toward the same event, the second eclipse, the Sky Gate, the final harvest. The next chapter reveals how the Order will try to stop it. If you want.
The awakening of the light-bearer. In every age of darkness, something chooses a single human to carry the dawn. The prophecy of the second eclipse spoke of one being, part human, part shadow-touched, part something older than both, the light-bearer. Not a warrior, not a king, not a savior, a decider. The one who would choose whether humanity stands with the dawn or falls with the shadow. And now, as the Black Dawn Circle's ritual cracks open the sky, the light-bearer begins to awaken. The birth that should not have happened. 13 years before the events of the Black Meridian, a child was born in a remote mountain village near the Pyrenees. There were 2 omens the midwife never forgot. The newborn opened her eyes before she took her first breath.
Her pupils reflected the moon, even though it was daytime. Her mother, terrified, hid the child from the world. Her father whispered a name given in a dream. Aurelia, the one who glows. The villagers believed she was cursed, but far away, the Ordo Luminis felt the moment of her birth because every lantern in their monasteries flickered at the exact same second. They sent watchers, guardians, silent monks disguised as travelers. Aurelia grew up unaware she was being protected from assassins, cultists, and something darker, shadows that moved without wind. The change. At age 12, Aurelia began to have visions. A sun swallowed by black wings, a field of melted glass humming like a hive, cloaked figures raising a glowing codex, a voice whispering, "You must choose." Her eyes changed color at night, from silver to pure white. Her hair sparked in moonlight, and for one terrifying moment during a solar halo, her shadow split into two shapes. The Ordo Luminis could protect her no longer. She had awakened. They took her to their hidden sanctuary, the Vault of Dawn beneath the cliffs of Montsegur, and revealed the truth. She was the first light-bearer born since the original starless night, a being created not by the Umbrae, but in response to them, a counterweight to darkness, humanity's last balance, the light within her. Unlike the shadow-touched, Aurelia wasn't simply marked. She radiated something the Umbrae feared most: coherent light. Not sunlight, not fire. A light that vibrated like a heartbeat. A light that could push back the Umbrae's void. But it came with a curse. Every time Aurelia used her power, the darkness inside her, the half-seed left by the Umbrae heritage, grew stronger. The more she fought the shadows, the more she became like them. This duality was written into the prophecy. The light-bearer carries two souls, one of fire, one of night. At the second eclipse, one will consume the other. The Black Dawn knows her name. The night the circle activated the Black Codex, Aurelia collapsed. Her body convulsed, her eyes turned black, and a voice spoke through her lips, a voice that did not belong to her. "We have found her." The Black Dawn Circle realized the truth. The light-bearer was alive, and they believed she was meant to open the sky gate from inside. Now they hunt her, not to kill her, but to claim her, to turn her into the bridge between worlds. The Order's last stand begins. The Ordo Luminis gathers its scattered guardians, the Firekeepers, the Dawnrights, the White Graves, the Star Readers, the Lantern Monks, all converging on Montsegur, because the next eclipse is approaching, because the prophecy is unfolding, because Aurelia must face her destiny. Choose the dawn or embrace the shadow. The next chapter reveals the fate of Earth itself as the eclipse arrives. If you want to continue, the second eclipse begins. When the sky breaks, all truths are revealed. The day started normally. Blue skies, birdsong. Nothing to suggest the world was minutes away from its oldest nightmare. But the Ordo Luminis had been watching the sun since dawn, and they saw something no one else noticed. The light was bending wrong. not dimming, not fading, warping, as though something massive and invisible was pressing against the sky from the outside. The first sign, a sun that stutters. At 11:14 a.m., the sun flickered, just once, but every satellite, every power grid, every telescope in the world registered the same impossible reading. Light gap, 0.002 seconds. Source, unknown. The last time this happened was 13 centuries ago. People assumed it was a glitch. The Ordo knew it was the beginning. Aurelia felt it like fire under her skin. She stumbled to the floor of the Vault of Dawn, clutching her chest as a pulse of cold swept through her veins. They're pushing. They're trying to break through. The monks surrounded her, but nothing could stop what came next. The second sign, the moon bleeds silver. In the early afternoon, the moon appeared in the sky even though it wasn't supposed to rise for hours. And it was wrong. It glowed too brightly like molten metal. Silver light spilled across oceans and continents. Shadows twisted into unnatural shapes. People filmed it. Scientists panicked. But Aurelia stared up at it with terror because she saw something no one else could. The moon wasn't shining. It was being drained. Its light was being pulled downward toward Earth. The Ordo realized what was happening. The Black Dawn Circle had activated the Codex, and the Umbrae were answering the signal. The third sign, the Sky Gate, forms. Clouds spiraled unnaturally over the Alps. Lightning flashed in reverse, bolts firing upward instead of down. The basilica of the hollow sun began to shake as the crater beneath it hummed like a monstrous throat preparing to speak. Inside, the Black Dawn Circle knelt in perfect formation, chanting in a tongue that made the air vibrate. Aperi portam. Open the gate. Above the cathedral, the sky folded inward, not a hole, not a portal, a collapse, as though the fabric of the sky was sagging under invisible weight. It darkened, then dimmed, then died. Not night, not shadow, a void. The same void that descended 1,300 years ago. The second eclipse begins. At 2:47 p.m., a time recorded in all surviving prophecies, the sun blinked out. No clouds, no moon, no atmospheric disturbance, just gone. People screamed, animals fled, tidal waves began to rise from sudden gravitational chaos. Across the world, lights flickered, malfunctioned, or exploded. Electric grids collapsed. Humanity was plunged into primal darkness. And then came the sound. A low, impossible vibration from the sky, not heard through ears, but through bones. Aurelia gasped. Her eyes turned white. They're here. They're tearing through the sky. The Umbrae had returned. Aurelia awakens fully. Just as the world began to panic, Aurelia rose to her feet inside the Vault of Dawn. A column of brilliant, pulsating light erupted from her chest, not outward, but upward, connecting her to the dying sky. Her body lifted off the ground. Her shadow split into two. One shaped like a human. One shaped like a winged, starless creature. Her voice echoed with two tones at once. dawn and dusk, both inside me. The monks realized the terrible truth. The Umbrae weren't just coming for Earth, they were coming for her. The Light-Bearer was the key to the Sky Gate, the final bridge, the final decision, humanity's hope or its doom. The eclipse is only beginning. The Umbrae have not arrived. They are emerging.
The Umbrae step through the Sky Gate. When the sky becomes a wound, something always bleeds through. The second eclipse hung over Earth like a dead sun. No light, no warmth, just a cold, suffocating darkness that felt alive. Above the Alps, the sky sagged inward, a swirling, starless vortex opened by the Black Codex ritual. This was not a portal, not a doorway. It was a tear. And now, something was crawling through it. First contact, the dark descent. At 3:06 p.m., the Sky Gate pulsed. A sound followed, a deep, resonant crack like breaking ice across the heavens. Then a shape moved inside the void. Not falling, not flying, unfolding. A pair of massive, wing-like appendages stretched out first, thin, skeletal, and shimmering with black, liquid light. Then came the body, a tall, elongated silhouette, more shadow than flesh, its form constantly shifting as though trying to imitate a shape it had never fully learned. Its head was a smooth sphere of darkness, its arms extended into clawed tendrils, and around its chest glowed faint, geometric lines, the same patterns carved into the Black Codex. Humanity finally saw the truth. The Umbrae weren't creatures. They were constructs, living weapons of the void. The first Umbrae hovered in the air, absorbing what little light remained. Its presence warped reality below it. Then the gate pulsed again. A second Umbrae emerged, then a third, then dozens, each one different, each one evolving as it descended. Some were winged silhouettes, some slithered like liquid shadows, some resembled twisted figures of bone and starlight. The invasion had begun. The Black Dawn Circle kneels. In the Basilica of the Hollow Sun, the Black Dawn acolytes fell to their knees as the Umbrae descended over the Alps. They raised their hands to the sky. Some cried, some laughed, some whispered hymns older than human memory. Dominus Umbrae, redite ad nos. Lord of Shadows, return to us. One Umbrae drifted down toward them, not attacking, not feeding, simply observing. And the circle whispered, "We have opened your gate. Take us with you into the new age." The Umbrae responded by lifting its tendrils, but not in acceptance, in correction. The creature split the air with a violent, silent pulse, and the entire Black Dawn Circle, the cult that had served the darkness for centuries, was wiped from existence in a burst of imploding shadow. Not killed, erased. The Umbrae had no need for servants. They never did. Aurelia feels the darkness enter. Miles away in the vault of dawn, Aurelia screamed. The Sky Gate's energy surged through her like molten ice, making her veins glow white. Every Umbrae that crossed the gate fell into her mind like a poisonous thought. She felt their hunger, their memory, their mission. We failed the first harvest. We will not fail the second. Her body levitated again, this time violently as if pulled upward by invisible hooks. Her human side resisted, her shadow side awakened. Her dual voice trembled. I feel them. I feel everything. The monks could not approach her. Her light burned, her shadow stung. And then,
The ombre noticed her. The ombre turned toward Montsegur. In the Alps, the ombre paused. Every single one of them, from the smallest shadow worm to the towering winged giants, twisted their heads in the same direction, southwest, toward the mountain fortress of Montsegur, toward Aurelia. A ripple passed through their ranks, a silent, predatory realization. They had not just returned for a harvest, they had returned for a key, the light bearer, the child of dawn and shadow, the final piece of the ancient plan. The ombre began to move, not flying, not walking, flowing. A flood of darkness racing across the sky. Humanity saw the truth. This was not an eclipse, not a storm, not a natural disaster. This was a return. And the creatures coming through the sky gate were not here to conquer. They were here to reclaim, to finish what began centuries ago, to transform Earth into something it was never meant to be. Aurelia opened her eyes, glowing like twin suns, and whispered, "They're coming for me. They're coming for us all." Her awakening was complete. The ombre had stepped through. The world was falling into their shadow. And the final battle had not even begun.